Hey y'all, and welcome back to The Gold Style. A little while ago, I came out with a video called Why I Can't Find a Nice Jewish Guy. And it was about my experiences going on J-Swipe. Did it work? Did it not work? A lot of you reached out and said that those were some very similar things that you experience going on J-Swipe. So it was great to have somebody that had reflected on a similar experience. While others of you did not find it so funny. So today I'm going to do another chat on why I still can't find a nice Jewish guy. So going through some of the comments in my previous video, a lot of people took it a bit too seriously, and the goal of the video was just to kind of walk through what it's realistically like and let you know that you're not alone on this. So I'm just going to walk through each of the scenarios as to why it is not as easy as it seems. The first thing that I kind of feel collects up the first part of the video is the Jewish community is very small and very tightly close-knit. So it's not surprising that you will see people on there that either you've already dated, that you've known from your past, or just people that you're automatically going to rule out. That happens a lot on there. So it is possible, sometimes that can work. Maybe there's somebody that you dated previously and it just didn't work out then. Situations weren't right. It's possible you can reconnect again, potentially on J-Swipe and match again. Maybe it's somebody from your past that you haven't spoken to in ages. Situations like that, it could work out for you. The other situation that I had spoken to were people that your friend has also dated. There was actually one comment on my previous video that I'm going to read in particular that says, same goes for someone your friend dated. Unless they gave you details as to why they weren't a good match, you might find yourself feeling the same way. Don't be so picky. So I think approaching this one is a very, very tricky situation. The only time that I would ever potentially consider this okay is if you met that person in a very organic way. Let's say you're at an event or something and you run into that person and maybe your friend and them just they weren't vibing, they didn't have the same things in common. Maybe you guys meet and you're like, wow, I know that she kind of went out with him before, but I didn't realize we had this much in common. That might be a scenario where it could work, but even then it's just really creepy to just match somebody that you know your friend dated and still go out on a date with them. Like, that's not cool. But something organic like that where it happens naturally and your friend is on good terms with that person and you speak first and foremost, because at the end of the day your friends are number one, that might be the only situation that it would work out. But keep in mind, it's very small. There's a lot of people that you already know on there, and then automatically that rules them out. The other thing that kind of got people in a tizzy was my Mort comment. So essentially, what I mean by my Mort comment, it was just to kind of be funny, but I think stemming from where that comes from, people have profiles, you read them, and when you read it, you might be like, oh, that's not gonna work out for me. And that might be things that they describe about themselves that are not things that are important. You know what I mean? It's like a difference of lives. So maybe that person doesn't like dogs and you have dogs. Maybe, and I'm just saying this because I've seen it before in the past, they say that they hate vegans. For me, I couldn't date somebody like that. Political point of view stated, things like that. Like, sometimes you'll be reading their profile and things that you read automatically rule them out. So that's where you would never click on them anyways. And then I had kind of made a joke about that Mort. I had X no on Mort, and Mort, and I'm gonna keep calling him Mort, ended up in my Facebook inbox. I'm just going to be honest with you, that happens all the time. I will match somebody, and they will find their way into my DMs somehow. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Persistence is one thing, but for me, very much the point of dating apps is if you match, you talk. If you don't, you don't talk. It's very simple. And that is the point of them. So going as far as to stalking somebody down on a social media channel, you know what I mean there? It does earn itself the kind of creepy tone. The next thing that I got a ton of comments on was, or messages on as well, because some of these end up being messages to me. Why no Israelis? You know, it has nothing to do with that. It's just, I think the bigger underlying factor here, and as well, this is lending itself to somebody who's more religious. Cultural differences are huge. Like, I could not date a religious person, mostly because I am not that way myself, so it doesn't work. It's too culturally different. And I think where my grandmother jokes around and says no Israelis for you, it has nothing to do with anything other than it is very different than how I grew up. So sometimes those differences can be really hard on relationships. So you kind of got to be prepared for that. It's not that I would not rule out dating somebody that was from there, but it's their cultural differences can sometimes be challenging, and it's just something you either are prepared for in a relationship or you are not. Okay, so the next was, why not date somebody from out of town? So there are situations where I agree that can work. Maybe they're 30 minutes away, half hour away, maybe they're a few hours away. I don't know, but there's a whole show about this called 90 Day Fiancé. And if you're familiar with it, a lot of times those relationships do not work out. You also have to be prepared for them financially, emotionally, ready for the distance, all of those things. You have to be really so prepared for those, and a lot of times they don't work out. So if you're looking cross-border, awesome. Some people that works out for. For me, I just like to be realistic with myself that it is very, very, very challenging, so that's how it goes. Last but not least, the Jewish Playboy. Okay, I think we can all say that there's somebody that you see and you know they're not looking to settle down, but it exists. Hey, it happens. So there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe just don't be on J-Swipe where, you know, girls are gonna fall in love with you and think you're looking for marriage, you know? That's pretty much it. So, are you still on J-Swipe? Did you connect to any of the stuff that I had in my video? Maybe you have a relationship that has worked out. Dying to know, so please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch y'all next time.